Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the House of Representatives. This is your state representative, Cary-Condotta. Well, we are down to the final 2 weeks of the session, and it's budget time, and it's rather interesting this year with the Senate having a coalition of both Republicans and Democrats. They put out a bipartisan budget that doesn't raise any new taxes and takes care of most of our needs. It does have a few things in it that we may not agree with on the House side in terms of budget and spending shifts as we move from one area of spending to another. But the fact is that in general they got the job done exactly as needed. No new taxes. Funding education, $1 billion extra for education in that package looks good. The House came out with a much more expensive package that adds $1.35 billion in new taxes and hits small business particularly hard. Hard for me to understand why, when you're trying to get jobs back, the overall unemployment rate is still very high in this state, and yet we're going after business for those taxes, especially small business, and it's not necessary. There's almost $3 billion in new money available without adding any taxes because of the Obamacare expansion Medicaid situation and a couple of other taxes that actually are coming back online. It's not necessary to change any of that, and you have almost $3 billion to spend. So adding another $1.3 billion, that's $4.3 billion of additional spending in one budget. It's certainly not necessary. And the fact is, in that whole routine with $1.35 billion in new taxes, they only add $250 million to schools. Where's the other billion plus? Well, it's spread out like peanut butter across all the special interest groups. So look, we think we're going to try to find some middle ground. It might be the budget that we put out. The House Republican Caucus has a budget put together, and it actually does some things that the Senate probably would appreciate and still takes care of everybody for the most part that's in the House, give or take those special interests. So we think there is room to move, but it all depends on the Speaker and the Governor as to where they're going to draw that line. That's what we're doing now. Now, there's two other budgets out there that have to be reconciled too. The capital budget, which is for spending or for capital projects, which happen throughout the state. Those two budgets are, again, a little bit far apart, and we're pretty sure we can negotiate those back together. The House side, I think, is actually a better overall budget, has a lot better project list, and we don't sweep any funds in the House side like they do in the Senate side. So again, the House, I think, has the upper side on that one. And then the transportation budget. Now this is interesting because you heard originally about a 10-cent per gallon tax increase in the transportation budget. That has been removed and put in a separate bill. So we are actually probably today going to pass a transportation budget that has no new revenue. It's just a maintenance budget, gets the projects that are currently being built, continues to fund them with nothing new added and no new revenue. And then we think within a few days we'll see another package with some sort of revenue, whether it's a gas tax or vehicle miles traveled or whatever they come up with. Given $4 a gallon gas, not likely that's going to pass over here, but it's certainly something we'll be looking at. So by next week, we should get a little better feel for where we're at and if we're going to get out of here at the end of this session. This is Cary-Condotta. We'll see you soon.